Hey, how you going, neighbor? Dave the Family Farmer here. Hey, I just looking over my notes here because I've been writing down notes for the last couple days now because I wanted to share with you all my knowledge for what that's worth. But on composting, you know, um, how many of you people want to know how to compost, but you really don't know where to start? You know, nobody really does. But hey, um, matter of fact, I'll tell you how easy it is to start. I'll just not even go with that. Um, how long? I'll give you a good example. How long does it take you to throw away your garbage? You know, grab your garbage, whatever you got, go out wherever you got your garbage bucket, pick up the lid, and throw it right in there. How long does that take? A second, maybe a minute, you know, over a week's time? Hey, that is a lot of garbage. And where could it be going? It could be going into a compost pile. Yeah, now how hard is that? Not very hard at all. But anyways, that's how easy compost is to make. It's just that easy. Hey, but anyways, I'm going to be doing a series all week, every day this week. I'm going to be doing a compost video. I'll, compost 101, and I will mark each video as compost 101, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Okay, that way you won't screw nothing up. And then as you look at the videos, you can say, oh, I already saw that one. Oh, I never saw number 3. I'm going to have to watch that. So each day this week, we're going to have a new video on composting. But today, I'm going to be giving you some things on NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Okay, and I got my notes. I'm good, but I'm not that good. So I got to have notes, and if you were doing this in my seat, you would have notes too. Okay? Okay, so NPK refers to the ratio of important elements in there, as in nitrogen, in your fertilizer. Okay, nitrogen, N, is for nitrogen, which what it does is it's responsible for the strong health and foliage of your plants. Okay, and that's of course the thing that's coming up over the out of the ground. And of course, P is for phosphorus, which aids in the healthy roots of your plants. Okay, it builds up your nice root growth. Okay, phosphorus. Okay, that's what the P stands for. The K stands for potassium, which helps in the overall health of your plant, whether it's peppers or tomatoes or green beans or peas or pumpkins or what have you, and it helps to resist all the diseases that are out there. Okay, doesn't help with the bugs or anything, but it helps the plant resist diseases. Okay, another thing about NPK is the percentage of what's in there. Okay, and I wrote down some simple ones for us, and of course I wrote them down because even I am not going to remember this in my head. So I wrote it down for all of us. Okay, and I wrote, now if you want copies of this, I will give you copies of this. And this is just everyday stuff we use: coffee grounds, eggshells, anything, okay. But anyways, let me give you some of these instances. Like me, if you've been watching my videos on compost, I've been throwing straw in my compost. Do you realize there's nitrogen of 0.5 to 0.8%? Phosphorus, there's 0.15% to 0.226%. And in the potassium, 1.2 to 1.7%. That's just in the straw. So let me tell you, laugh at me for putting straw in my compost. Okay, sheep manure, okay, and chicken manure are very high in nitrogen. Sheep manure, 2.3 to 3.0%. That is high and it's hot. It's got 0.88% phosphorus and of course 0.04 to 0.08 in potassium. Chicken manure, here's a good one, 1.5 to 0 to 3.0% nitrogen. Yeah. And phosphorus, 1.15% to 2.25%. And of course, potassium, 1.0 to 1.4%. Okay? And a lot of this stuff you people are just throwing. And, you know, I just can't believe that some of you people, and I'm not blaming anybody because I do it too because I'm too lazy. And I do just throw it away instead of throwing it into my kitchen scrap bucket. Banana peels. You realize banana peels has 1.75% nitrogen in it, 0.0775% phosphorus, and 0.5 potassium. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I looked all this stuff up and I was writing it down and it's just unbelievable. Eggshells. We throw eggshells away every single day. Listen to this. 1.19% nitrogen, 0.038% phosphorus, and 0.14% potassium. Yeah, and we're throwing this stuff away. We don't need to. Here is another good one. Grapefruit skins and orange peels. You know how we just throw that away? Well, people, let me tell you, grapefruit skins has no nitrogen in it, but it has 3.6% potassium, and 30.6% phosphorus. And we're throwing that away. Yeah. Here's the orange peels. Orange peel has no nitrogen in it. The phosphorus has 3.0% and 27% on the potassium. And we're throwing this away in the garbage. We could be throwing that right into our compost pile. People, with your fruits and everything, what you want to do is you want to pile that stuff in the middle of your compost pile, okay, because it draws fruit flies. Apples, oranges, grapefruits, all that stuff. Any kind of fruit. You want to bury that into your compost pile because it applies, fruit flies. And I made that mistake when we were doing apples. I was throwing the apple peelings out into my winter compost bin. And let me tell you, zillions and zillions of fruit flies. I learned from my mistakes too. Yes, I failed on that one. But anyways, and of course, trick-or-treating is over. Halloween is over. What are you going to do with them pumpkins? Don't just throw them in the street or let the garbage man take them. Throw them in your compost pile. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it does have a nitrogen, it does have a phosphorus, and it does have potassium in it. Pumpkin, 0.16% nitrogen, 0.07% phosphorus, and 0.26% potassium. Yeah. Can you believe that? I just, and the same with coffee grounds. Coffee grounds is a nice nitrogen booster. Why? Because it has 2.1% nitrogen in it. 0.3% phosphorus, and of course 0.3% potassium. And leaves, which we're all raking up right now for the garden, has 0.5% nitrogen. Yes, leaves have nitrogen in it. I even knew that one. I didn't know exactly how much. I had to look that up. And 0.1% phosphorus and 0.5% potassium. Yeah, leaves. Okay, and I also get a lot of people that ask me about pine needles and their acidity and how acid they are and all this kind of crap. And yes, you can compost pine needles. Yes, you can. Pine needles, and I had to look this up, and I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I looked all this up because actually I didn't know hardly any of this, and I thought I did. But anyways, nitrogen, pine needles have 0.5% nitrogen, 0.12% phosphorus, and 0.3% potassium. You know, I didn't know that. I just thought it had just potassium in it because of for the roots and the overall health. But yeah, it does have nitrogen. It does have phosphorus. I never knew that. But anyways, and there are some things, you know, and I'm gonna type this all out and make a nice page of it. So any of you want this, I'll mail it to you. But yeah, and here's another good thing about starting off in your garden. Now, fresh manures is a big thing. Okay, cow manure, sheep manure. I couldn't really find anything about how much nitrogen is in there on the fresh stuff, but it is really high, and it can burn your roots if you put that out in your garden. But what you want to do, and which I do, like now it's November, I have nothing in my garden. You can put that directly into your garden. So all winter long, that will break down, and by spring, it'll all be broken down, and you can use your garden right away. So when you want to, or you can throw it in your compost pile. It's that easy, and that will help you. That will help your compost pile break down because it's so high in nitrogen. Yeah, but other than that, it works out really well. Hey, so tomorrow we're going to have a nice compost 101. So hey, I want all you guys to join me, okay? Because this is going to be a really great week. So I'll tell you what, you all take care. Bye bye then.